everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Denise and in today's video we're gonna talk about air layering. So I've been air layering my Aroids for quite a while now and I have great success transferring them into soil after they have been air layered for obvious reasons, because then they already have some root growth. You can air layer all sorts of plants, so you can air layer roses, huge trees, stems, thick fat tree stem. You can air layer with sphagnum moss or soil. I have never tried air layering with soil before just because I feel it could be like very messy. Don't get me wrong, sphagnum moss is messy too, but I think like soil is much more messier. I live in Southern California, so my plants haven't gotten the memo that it's winter. Growth has not stopped. That's why I've been propagating for a few weeks now already for spring. And I posted it on my Instagram stories and I've got so much feedback. People wanted to know how long it takes before roots are developed and what kind of soil am I placing them after. And I thought, okay, for my next air layering round, I'm just going to do the video. So you only need 4 things to air layer your plant, which is the first thing, your plant, and then the second thing is the sphagnum moss. You need scissors and the plastic wrap. So I've been using New Zealand sphagnum moss for a while now. I usually go to a local nursery and buy it in a small bag. It's like this size and it's I think $6, but it's already loosened up. But I was too lazy. I ordered from Amazon. This one was highly recommended by a lot of people. I cannot give an honest feedback yet because it's the first time I'm going to use it. And it comes in a brick, so you have to loosen it up by yourself, which I've found very annoying. But this is how it looks now. So I placed water in the bowl and then I took a piece of the brick and let the water soak in, and then I had to go in with my hands and like make it small and then squeeze it out, and then you have this amount of sphagnum moss and it looks good. It looks like a very good quality sphagnum moss, and you can see it's not, I only used a tiny piece like this size of the brick and it's a full bowl of sphagnum moss. And then the plastic wrap and a pair of scissors. So I would get a plant and not one. Actually, I'm going to air layer a bunch of plants today, but I'm only going to make a video using 1 or 2 because nobody has so much time, right? And I'm also going to see if any of the ones that are already air layered has some roots I can show off, like, oh look, it's really working. So this is the Philodendron Verrucosum. It's the one with the red back. It's a velvety aroid and it has new growth. I air layered this plant maybe 3 weeks ago. I might be lying, but
don't hold me.
Maybe 3 weeks ago, and I can see some roots here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys the roots, but I'm not going to make the cut today because I actually want to air layer this part where the new leaf is coming, so that this could grow some roots, and then I'm going to make a cut.
Oh, there's some nice roots here.
I've got rid of almost all the sphagnum moss and I'm very excited about the root growth. So let me get out of the frame. You can see here even from the top, and all these single ones are roots that developed here too. So I could make a cut here and here also, and then I saw something very cute that happened. There's also something growing. So this is the success, maybe 3 weeks of air layering. So I would feel very comfortable placing this into soil. Propagating it and placing it into soil, I would feel very comfortable that the plant will survive and grow into a very healthy, awesome plant. Philodendron Verrucosum. So I totally forgot I have the footage which I uploaded on Instagram for my first air layering round in 2020. So I think it was a philodendron. I'm sure it was a philodendron Melanochrysum, the Atapuense, and a few other plants. So you can actually see how I make the cut and where and how many roots developed. And of course I have the plants right here in soil, so why not show it to you guys? So this is what I'm going to do now. We're going to insert the footage from Instagram, and then I'm going to show you the plants that are in soil here in my bedroom. So these are just a few of the plants that I air layered. And this is the Melanochrysum you saw in the video, and we have this bigger one which I also air layered, and it has roots. This is the Glorious, and the new leaf is unfurling. Another Glorious. This is not air layered, this is the Varicosum which I purchased from Instagrammer, and she sold this one for 15. So I'm trying to rehab this one. So it has gotten so hot in here that I have to move into a different room to finish up and do the air layering, because it is hot in here. So bear with me. I'm going to move and bring all the plants and supplies into the other room, and then we're going to continue. So we are in the living room now, and I placed the Philodendron Verrucosum back on its original spot, and I was freaking out in my head that the roots are going to dry out. So this is going to be the first plant I have to air layer, just so I can like chill and relax. So we have our plastic, and we have the scissors, we have the plant, and we have the damp sphagnum moss. And that's how easy it is. We take the scissor and we make a cut. This is a big piece. You know, you can make them smaller. It also depends on how thick of a stem you have for your plants. And we're just gonna take a handful of damp moss. I also received questions if I am putting holes in the plastic for it to breathe and have some air, and yes and no. So I did put some holes in some plants I air layered, and in others I didn't, and I have not seen any difference. I've not seen a stem rot or roots rot. The only thing that I saw what happened is that the roots actually break through the plastic, and then the part that is growing out of the plastic and is not in contact with sphagnum moss dried out. That's the only thing that I have noticed so far, and that's it. Sphagnum moss.
Smash it on.
Wrap it around. Nice and tight. And then I take another. You can also use any kind of jute that you have or a rubber band. But I'm just lazy and cheap, so I'm just going to take another piece and just wrap it around. And then you can just cut the pieces that you don't like.
And then if you like feel safer, you can make some holes in it or just leave it like I do. Do we have to wet the sphagnum moss? So I have high humidity and I have my humidifiers on every day. So even if the sun is not shining, so I hardly ever, do I ever? I mean, I'm a crazy person. So even though I have 3 humidifiers, I still be running around with my water bottle and misting the wet plants that are already wet. I still mist them. So I will mist the plastic. Do I do that? I do that. Don't do that, but I do that. And but if you see that the moss is super dry, then I would mist it from the top, and that's actually it. And then you can, after a few weeks, you can see the roots, and if you see the roots, then it's ready to propagate it and place it into the soil of your choice. My soil is very airy. There's a max 20% soil, less 10% soil. And then it's cacti soil, so that means it's already soil that is airy and mixed with stones. So maybe 5% of real soil is in my aroid mixes, just because I'm scared to not put any.
I'm like, ooh, what is with the nutrients? So let me throw like a handful of soil, just for fun.
So why I prefer air layering over water propagating and lacquer and putting it straight into soil. And some people, they take stems and draw it on perlite and a new plant grows. I prefer air layering because it is not a final decision. If you make your cut, then you place it into water or the medium of your choice. It's done. You made the cut. And then you have to pray and have your fingers crossed that it will develop roots. It's not going to rot the stem, and then the leaves are going to grow. But with air layering, you like pretty much can wait until it has 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 roots, like roots that are so long. I had my Philodendron glorious, which I air layered in 2 parts, and they are in soil. And their roots were like this long and thick and wide and juicy and delicious. And I was just cut and I'm like, whoo, nice. I was excited. But like I said, you can change your mind, and then you still have an intact plant and let it grow and grow, and then maybe in 6 months the plant's gonna be like this tall, and then I have like 6 parts that I air layered, and then I can cut, and I'm gonna feel like 100% confident that the plant will survive the transfer into soil. You know, you can get emotionally attached to a plant. So I'm gonna wait and gonna enjoy it a little bit more and see if I can air layer the new leaf when it comes. And that's the Philodendron Melanochrysum. No, it's not. So this was the first video, the air layering video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Please do the subscribing stuff and hitting any kind of bells and thumbs up thingings that you're supposed to do. And guys, please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @tropicalseductions. I know, okay, but I'm not gonna change the name. And yeah, I hope I didn't forget anything major. If so, my sincere apologies. But yeah, Thank you. It was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.